Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to HITC Football. We're in a new setting, not a worse one if you ask me. And guys, better get used to it because you will see this for the next couple of weeks. But anyways, that's a side note. It's Monday, so that means that we had an entire weekend full of Premier League football with some exciting games, and obviously we're going to talk about that in this video. But first, you just know I have to mention it. Antony to Manchester United for 100 million euros or 85 million pounds, but still, that is a load of money. And in recent history, transfers from the Eredivisie to the Premier League didn't always succeed. Let me name a few names to refresh your memory. Steven Bergwijn, Memphis Depay, Davy Klaassen, Vincent Janssen, definitely the worst out of all of them. Yeah, I don't know, this doesn't really bode well for Antony, does it? And you guys all know that I'm an Ajax fan and I'm sad to see Antony leave, but for 100 million euros, I would personally bring him to Manchester on a bike, whatever. Because Antony's great and we're definitely going to miss him, but give me that 100 million euros. We can get back Hakim Ziyech and we can invest the rest in other talented players. So Manchester United, thanks for that. You're the only club that's stupid enough to give us 100 million euros. But on a real note, you guys are really going to enjoy Antony because he's a great player with some great traits. His dribbling is amazing, he's rapid, and yeah, we've all seen his skills. He's absolutely ridiculous, a crazy enjoyable player to watch. But if I can give you one advice, Antony, I mean, yeah, you signed a great player, but Cody Gakpo from PSV, just don't do that. At least Antony showed himself in the Champions League and in big games in the Netherlands. Cody Gakpo, I really haven't seen that from him. But don't be stupid, don't spend another 40 million pounds on this guy, because I can tell you, he will just flop. But having said that, let's move on to this weekend's Premier League games. And obviously, we have to start off in Liverpool, because what happened over there? 9-0 against Bournemouth. What a great way to completely forget about the horrible start of the season. As we all know, in their first 3 games, Liverpool only picked up 2 points. So the club definitely needed a win. But okay, calm down, chill. 9-0 was not necessary. You know that the Bournemouth players have to go back to their families as well, right? But on a real note, Liverpool was absolutely ridiculously good on the day. Firmino and Diaz both scored 2 goals. The surprising thing is that Mohamed Salah didn't manage to score one of those goals, which you definitely would expect in a 9-0 win from Liverpool. It just didn't happen on the day. And just a question, does Firmino know that he's also allowed to look when he scores a goal? But come on, Firmino, that no-look finish, that was just outrageous. That was a violation. You did not have to do that. A great day for Liverpool. They got the biggest win in Premier League history. On 4 separate occasions, a game has finished 9-0 in the Premier League. And interestingly enough, Southampton have been on the receiving end twice. Very interesting. But anyways, great day for Liverpool. Not so good for Bournemouth, to say the least. And let's move on to the next game. And another team that got a horrendous start to the season, but are now kind of climbing their way up the table again, because Manchester United managed to win again. Before we get into the positive stuff, let's focus on some horrendous records that Manchester United held before this game. The club had a 7-game away losing streak. That is absolutely ridiculous to think that a club like Manchester United would go 7 games without grabbing a single point. That absolutely baffles me. And no disrespect, but against the likes of Brentford and Brighton as well. That's absolutely crazy. But it was also the first time since February that the club managed to win back-to-back Premier League games. I mean, those are 2 absolutely horrendous records. But luckily, Manchester United got their win against Southampton, and now things are looking way better than 2 weeks ago. Bruno Fernandes' winner made the club climb all the way to 8th as United grabbed their 2nd win of the season, and now they're on 6 points. New signing Casemiro made his debut, and Cristiano Ronaldo started on the bench again. And if you ask me, this cannot continue like this. This is just horrible for both parties. They quickly have to find a solution for this situation. And what do you guys think? Do you think that Ronaldo will still leave in the last week of the transfer window, or do you think he will stay at Manchester United? I personally think that he will stay, because which other clubs are actually interested in signing Ronaldo? I hate to say it, but Cristiano Ronaldo officially doesn't have any options left in Europe. That's painful to say, man. That actually is painful to say, but yeah, his fault for going to Manchester United. Well, clearly he doesn't want to be there, but yeah, anyways, let's not focus on this too much. But even though Manchester United got their 2nd win on the bounce, there's still quite a lot to improve for Erik ten Hag's side. But these 2 points were very much needed for Erik ten Hag, so he will definitely get some room to further implement this system. Shout out to my boy Lisandro Martinez. He won 5 out of 5 aerial duels, which is a big accomplishment for a guy that's only 5'2". Nah, on a real note, we're not gonna make jokes about Lisandro Martinez's height anymore, because it's clear that this guy is just a great defender. So let's hope that Martinez can keep this up. And let's move on to the other club from Manchester, because Manchester City played Crystal Palace. And what is wrong with these guys? Do they really not take the Premier League serious anymore? Last week, they were also down 3-1 at one point against against Newcastle. But then they still managed to get a point after goals from Erling Haaland and Bernardo Silva. And in this game, the same happened. They were 2-0 down after 21 minutes against Crystal Palace. But I said it before and I will say it again, having Erling Haaland in your team is just not fair. Because this guy just pulls up and scores a hat-trick in less than 20 minutes. We will see this at least 3 more times this season. Just like last week, Bernardo Silva also grabbed another one. So yeah, 4-2 for Manchester City and they managed to get another win. By the way, it's absolutely crazy to think that Manchester United are out there spending 100 million for Antony, while a player like Erling Haaland only cost 60 million euros. It's absolutely ridiculous that Manchester City got a player like that for 60 million euros, while the rest of the world is just overpaying for every single player. And let's move on to Arsenal, who still have the perfect score. They won their 4th game of the season. And this time they won against Fulham. Mitrovic still scored, but it wasn't enough because Gabriel and Martin Ødegaard grabbed 2 for Arsenal. And for Gabriel and Arsenal fans, this was a roller coaster game because a mistake from the defender made Mitrovic score his goal. But after Ødegaard's equalizer, Gabriel managed to score the winning goal just a few minutes before the end of the game. So this was a real zero-to-hero game for him. Mitrovic, like I said, scored again. He's been doing really well for Fulham since the start of the season, so let's hope that he can keep this up. And they're definitely going to need his goals going forward. They're already on 5 points right now, which definitely isn't bad for a newly promoted team. And especially since this was their first loss of the entire season. Let's move on to the next game, Nottingham Forest against Spurs, and there's only one thing I can say. Harry Kane. Harry Kane. If you need goals, Harry Kane. Just Harry Kane. What would Spurs be without Harry Kane? Forest really made Spurs work for the win, but in the end, they won the game 2-0 pretty comfortably. But like I said, it definitely wasn't an easy game for Spurs. And slowly but surely, Harry Kane is creeping up on Alan Shearer in the all-time Premier League scorers chart, because he now has the same amount of goals as Andy Cole on 187. But the big difference is that Harry Kane did it in 128 games, fewer than Andy Cole. That is absolutely ridiculous. This guy is a goal-scoring machine. And I know I said at the beginning of the season that Richarlison would be a major flop, and I still don't think that he impressed a lot this season. But yeah, I have to take my hat off for that crazy assist. Like I said, when he does some good things, I will be the first one to say it. There's not much to say, that cross was simply beautiful. The next game that we're going to talk about is the Wesley Fofana derby. I guess that's what you can call it, because yeah, as we all know, he's going from Leicester to Chelsea, but yeah, anyways, doesn't matter. But before we talk about Chelsea, Leicester City, let all the sirens go off right now. Yo, you're bottom of the league on only 1 point. Bro, come on, how can you guys have no sense of urgency in regards to signing players? The transfer window is only open for just a few more days. At this point, the squad clearly is not it. So just go ahead and sign somebody. You're gonna lose another great defender to Chelsea right now. Just go ahead and buy someone. You have the money, especially after the Fofana deal. But just do it, man. I mean, I swear, this is not gonna end well for Leicester if they don't sign anybody. Just to be clear, it wasn't all bad for Leicester. At the end of the game, they even had the opportunity to score the equalizer as well. But yeah, whatever you want to say about it, so far this entire season, it just hasn't been good enough for them. And Chelsea, because of their win, they moved up to 7 points, as they're now in 6th. This was a great game from Raheem Sterling because he hit the back of the net twice, grabbing his first 2 goals for Chelsea. And now we're going to talk about Brighton against Leeds, 2 teams that are absolutely surprising me so far this season. Last campaign, Brighton were already great. Their manager, I have big respect for because he's doing a great job. But I really thought that this season they wouldn't be able to do the same thing. But right now they are on 10 points after just 4 games, on level with clubs like Manchester City and Tottenham. That is absolutely ridiculous. And this game was another dominant showing from Brighton. Oscar Gross scored the winner in the second half, sealing the 3 points for Brighton. But like I said, Graham Potter, I take my hat off for you. You're doing a great job with Brighton. And for Leeds, it's unfortunate that you lost on the day, but you're still on 7 points, level with Chelsea and just behind Brighton. And I never thought that I would say this, but right now, Brighton and Leeds are actually fighting for Champions League positions. I don't know what's going on. But it will be interesting to see how long these 2 teams can actually keep this up. Next up is Wolves against Newcastle. That game ended in a 1-1 draw. And for a long time, it looked like Wolves were on their way to get their first Premier League victory this season. But then Alan Saint-Maximin scored an absolute screamer. What a volley that was. It was his first goal since January of this year. But he picked a great moment for Newcastle to do so, because his late goal managed to seal a point for Newcastle in a game that for a long time it looked like they were going to lose. Like I said, good news for Newcastle, who are now in 7th, and bad news for Wolves, who are only on 2 points, and they are just above Leicester City in 19th right now. And another game that finished in a draw because of a late strike was Brentford against Everton. And also for Everton, they are only on 2 points right now, so they definitely could have done with a win. But that late strike from Janelle did Brentford a huge favor, as they are now on 5 points in 10th. And Everton are in 18th, together with Wolves. So both Everton and Wolves must be disappointed that they didn't get their first win of the season this weekend. But West Ham managed to do exactly that, after Pablo Fornal scored the only goal of the game against Aston Villa. And West Ham finally got their first points of the season. Going into the weekend they had 0 points from 3, but now they're level on points with Aston Villa, and things now look a little bit better after a woeful start to the season. So guys, that's it. We talked about all the games from this weekend in the Premier League. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, click my videos on the end screen right now. And as always, I will see you guys on Wednesday again. Peace.